What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. If you're just joining us on the broadcast for whatever insane reason that you've missed out on the first awesome matches so far today, you're here just in time for the losers match, the elimination match between Scarlett and Neeb, which is starting up here in a moment. It is worth noting that due to the funds raised, we have definitely got enough money here to make a third place prize for the tournament today. Maybe we'll divvy it out over 4, as we are literally 4 times the prize pool that we had set out to gain. But again, we'll wait to see what the total is at the end of the day before we futz with numbers and play with anything. But because there has been so many awesome contributions from folks like Dove and Wolf, OFU, Kitty the Neko, Alaska Winter, and Le Jourdain, we actually have a lot of coupon codes that can still be redeemed and used. So again, if you guys don't know how this works, go to the Match Arena website. You click the donate button, and you type in the code HOUSE, H-O-U-S-E, and it will add $1 to the prize pool from Match Arena's bank on your behalf. So give these guys a little bit more cash, which is always better to make sure that they are more just well paid for their time, but also incentivized to keep coming back for things. I mean, this is so last minute. Normally when we plan things out like a good at least day or two like ahead of time. This was done with like 6 hours or something to go, because Zombie and I had, we had a meeting. We were getting caught up on stuff BaseTradeTV related, and we're like, "You want to cast something? Yeah, let's cast something. All right, what do you want to cast? Well, I don't know. Let's just throw something together."
I don't know. What do you want to do? We were literally both in the bathtub with like our phones in our ears and
okay, good. I was gonna
hair.
say, I thought this was like we're sharing the bathtub moment. So basically, it's Rifkin in the bathtub.
I probably could have phrased that better.
Put down some bubble bath.
Get a lush bath bomb.
Yo, so I got real talked out of some stupidity. Okay,
well, that's
guys,
always good.
If you're listening, be aware the next 30 seconds are going to hit not safe for work territory, okay? So if you're listening with a child, mute this right now for about 30 seconds, okay? But bath bombs I've recently fallen in love with. All right, these things are cool. They fizz up in the bath. They're nice and they smell good. And I thought, I wonder what this would feel like if I kind of like just positioned it under my balls a bit as it was fizzling out. And it tickled, which was funny, right? Nothing beyond that. However, I was told it's a chemical reaction that makes the fizzes, and then it's actually really dangerous to do that because you can burn yourself. Can you imagine trying to go to the hospital? The doctor's like, "Oh boy, this is a horrible burn wound in this horrible position. How did this happen?" You're like, I don't want to talk about it. Just can you fix it?
I mean, I knew that'd be risky. It's like trying to when the salts don't dissolve, so they start getting places. Like sometimes baths are very uncomfortable.
Anyways, I did it one time. Never again. Never again. I got scared instantly as soon as I heard chemical. That's it. They had me at chemical. I was like, no, fuck. I made a mistake. I just thought it was like Pop Rocks or something, right? Like just dissolving in the water.
I feel like if you put Pop Rocks underneath your balls in the water, it's not going to be too great either.
Well, I think that's about our 30-second time window. So welcome back, all the folks who've been to the channel. We're getting into game number 1. It's the elimination match, the elimination series here in a best of 3. Bottom right, we do have one of the BaseTradeTV house members, the Pink Zerg, Scarlett.
The top left. That's the yellow Protoss. He's Neeb. I think I already warned them. Ask them to help me. Help me,
Chat,
buddy.
help me, please. I can't relate to this. What's this? Exeto LP. So if I tip 100 times $1 US, it is better than to donate 1 times $100 US. Do I get it right? Wait, so you mean if you're gonna tip like $1 100 times versus $100 one time? Is that how that? Am I reading that right?
If I tip 100 $1 US.
This is kind of reminds me of that Futurama episode.
Why would
I get 300 $1 hooker bots or one $300 hooker bot?
Exactly. I don't know the answer to that question.
I think he's asking in regards to the Match Arena thing, and the thing is, Match Arena just wants some traffic for the website, guys. Straight up, that's what they're paying. They're basically paying $1 for traffic per person to the website. So if that's what the question's in pertaining to, like, it's always better to throw $100 all at once, one big lump sum towards prize pools. But for them, it's marketing to have them come to the website, to have you come to their website.
Yeah. And speaking of the website, Love and Floofen just donated another $50 to bump it up to 463.
Holy. And they use the code too. So comboed it to 51. Prize pool $463. That's awesome stuff. You know, we always get complimented by Match Arena that we're like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say this. I've had so many meetings with the people who are behind it. And they're always like, you guys are the best at this stuff. I'm like, yeah. Oh, God, you. But really, we succeed a lot with crowdfunding through this site. And you guys are just today proven. Like, it's a last-minute thing. It wasn't planned. It wasn't announced until, like, an hour before we were ready to go live with it. And we're fucking nailing it. $464 raised. That's insane so far. I know the players will be very happy to hear about that.
Yeah. I feel like I think this, like, one time we had, like, it almost got, like, to $1,000, something like that. I remember it was a long time ago.
It was like Hydra, I think, was the one who won that one, too, or something. It was,
man, yeah.
Because I remember distinctively Impact and a couple other Koreans were very salty that they decided not to play in that week because they're like, wow, so much fucking money. And the next week, we saw, like, double the regular signups.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, yeah, the effect is going to be real, right? Where everyone's like, so it's going to be a lot more, right?
But that's what's cool about this, right? Like, for us, I mean, obviously it would be really nice if we were getting $465, but I love that we can crowdfund stuff like this with the community. And still, like, prove that's literally money showing people want to see StarCraft is what that is. There's a lot of debate about chemicals and stuff in chat right now.
The Ace W face just gets me at the most random times. You're like it's kind of a funny emote by itself.
I know
it can be funny, but it's like sometimes just the funniest combination ever.
It's really supposed to be a temporary emote, but like it's becoming permanent, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It was an accident, I swear.
What sound do you think that face makes? Like what when you see that? What sound? All right, we do have a Warp Prism with, of course, an Archon, being kind of annoying. Neeb going for a bit of an old classic Protossy build.
I'm glad he didn't screen cap that. Ace. I don't
know.
Did
you try to make the face? I didn't have the camera open.
I made the face, man. Like, I gotta be accurate when I make the sound.
Regrets are made. I didn't have your camera on at all.
Oh, God. Okay, all right, dark, or old-fashioned Dark Templar Archon drop. There you go.
I do wish, even if they weren't going to like create a Dark Archon as a unit, you would have an Archon that was distinctively different. It was the same stats, same everything, but it was just distinctively different, whether it was made out of High Templar or Dark Templar. I think it would be cool. But, oh, that was so dangerous. He wanted to save the other one. He knew it was gone. Scarlett pushed that off of the Queens, and this did basically nothing for Neeb.
Yeah, at least he saved it, though. I mean, it's been a while, I feel, since we've seen a good old-fashioned Archon drop. At the very least, it's combined with like a second Warp Prism, or it's called up by an all-in. Like, it's not just the macro-oriented one, but this was. So, like, if it survives, then that makes it not the worst thing in the world, but it is supposed to last a little bit longer. Now Scarlett can kind of freely do whatever she wants, and only, like, somewhat have to worry about that Warp Prism. She gets her Queens underneath that, and that thing's dead.
For sure. But this is an interesting thing. MTG Rooster in chat says, I assume Match Arena takes a cut of the donations. I think that they are meant to for most of the things on the website, but actually with us, specifically, we have a deal with them. In lieu of any proper sponsorship or paying us like a flat fee, we've basically forfeited the caster compensation, quote unquote, that we would normally get from a sponsor, and instead they cover the costs of not just the fees for PayPal and stuff, but they also don't take a cut out of the prize pools either. So when you see players earning X amount of dollars on the website through events we specifically run, they are getting 100% of that money. Other events, like if you were to create one like who are not BaseTradeTV, you might actually not have players get, like, there's going to be like 3% for PayPal plus whatever percent for Match Arena. But for us, that's the deal we have with them, and that's why they're really awesome to work with. Plus, they give us codes and help bump up the prize pool. Like, fuck yeah, Match Arena.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very impromptu show match, and I think in the last couple of hours, it was given to us. So, I'd like, from a bar or something like that.
Yeah, we were lucky, actually. Our contact was awake at all, like 3 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. It's very surprised. Glad he had passed out, but from tiredness, not from drinking. Although
maybe
but no.
both. Maybe both. Yeah. Who's to say?
No, he was very helpful. So, anyways, this game has evolved, I guess, past just the initial aggression. Not so very much though. Like Scarlett got nice leads from just being able to deal with that so well, but she didn't use it to attack or anything like that. Just continuing to take a really strong macro game. Almost 80 drones. Mutas are on the way, so that Warp Prism really shouldn't do anything.
He really wants to get in there and use it though. And Scarlett, I mean, it's in plain sight. Those mutas should easily kill it, but I guess for her timing to get across the map and harass probes is more valuable. This is crazy. That should have died. I feel like she just actually didn't see it.
Yeah, I feel like she actually didn't see it because usually that's the one thing that might keep you back from attacking with the main army. So I don't know. It doesn't seem to matter though. He's not using it. She's still gonna get the 4th base to be killed. The mutas are still waiting to have the true surprise attack as she moves in. And the Zealots are actually coming from the north, funnily enough, to what would have been the 5th base.
Well, let's hope Neeb can do some damage because he just lost 15 probes in a Nexus on his side of the map. Mutas actually get over here, and with the Mothership Core dead, there's no overcharges. He's warping in Stalkers, but they don't have Blink, and there's no +2. This is going to be rough.
This is great momentum. Now, she does have this moment of weakness where like her army's being rebuilt, literally 20 Hydras now on the way, but it's a big map, and yeah, that was all over on his side of the map.
That Spinecrawler was seriously MVP. Scarlett lost almost no drones to that. 1 drone has died so far this game.
That's pretty good. All she needs to do is defend this push, and I think Neeb's just going to tap out from there.
Yeah, but might be easier said than done. It is a lot of Immortals and Archons.
It is. I mean, they're very strong units. The charge is coming in especially makes this inferior. Yeah, that sucks. It was bad timing. Yeah, it still seems like it's to be enough. I mean, 20 Hydras almost, you know, like...
It's just that the supply is so close. I was really not convinced that would be an easy hold, but yeah, she does it and takes game number 1.
Nicely done. I think, by the way, I guess if anyone's curious, I think Neeb came like Wednesday, so 4 or 5 days ago? 4 days ago?
Yeah, so it's not like he's super jet lagged or anything.
I think it's where he came in, so.
Also, his what to say here? His internal clock may not have mattered. He's up at all nights of the hours, anyways. I gotta imagine he was on a close to Korea time schedule, anyhow.
Yeah, some of these guys actually intentionally set themselves up for tournaments and when they go overseas and stuff.
Yeah. Rubenowitz wants to know what the mega tax is. You can check actually our patch notes on the BaseTradeTV Twitter, posted publicly and advertised a while ago. If you want to learn more about that or anything else related to the more up-to-date BaseTradeTV stuff. However, I know we wouldn't normally play a break here, guys, but I got to get some more water, so we'll be back here in just a moment for game number 2 as soon as we can. Be right back. All right, folks, we're back and hopping directly into game number 2. As you can see, you haven't actually missed anything as we just load in straight from the lobby and go directly into the game. I couldn't help but chuckle because Wardy just resubbed to the channel, even though I hate his guts. 17 months. Welcome back, buddy. I see that you are taking the day off. I hope that means you're available for some more PUBG, perhaps, later. Maybe. Playing that last day with him for the first time was pretty fun over on Nate's stream. But, oh, I gotta talk about this in a moment. Let's do the player interest first. Spawning here at the bottom right, we do have the yellow Perotas, down 1 in the series. It's Neeb.
And the top left is the pink Zerg. It's Scarlett.
All right, so as many of you guys have seen me crush and obsess on before, there's another streamer on Twitch, Loserfruit, who I really like. And she recently did like this interview and tweeted about this. And in the clip they show on Twitter to advertise it, they kind of put this like a fake Twitch chat they create to kind of fit the narrative of what they're trying to push through the interview. And that's like bad enough on its own, right? Because it doesn't even look like Twitch chat. But secondly, they took a screenshot of Animunition's page and just overlaid that on top of it. So there's like not even the right streamer. It's so bad. What? I hate mainstream media trying to cover stuff like this because it's so cringingly off.
You think that... Well, actually, I don't know.
Here, I'm going to link this to you and I'll link it in chat in a little bit. But just watch the first like second and pause it. And you can see clearly the fake Twitch chat, the wrong Twitch streamer's channel. Like, it's just so bad, dude. I can't.
Jesus. What is this? Why is the chat? I mean, do you think they just like got the good stuff out of the chat and just like put it in a notepad?
Well, the whole like 30-second thing or whatever, it's like they're trying to talk about like the downside of streaming and like girls, creeps and whatever. Like I haven't watched the full video or anything. I just saw it during the break, but I'm just like, this is another example of just like somebody trying to like make it fit their narrative rather than just like have this match the interview for what it was. Or I don't know. It's bad. It's cringy. I can't. And this isn't even like the first example of it, right? Like this happens all the fucking time.
It's so weird, like having seen her, I guess, in real life. Actually, no, I don't think it matters that I met her in real life. Just seeing her like in like not just the professional clothes, but like in a 60-minute interview, you know, like I feel like she's not that old, and old people are the ones that go in 60 minutes.
I mean, I could see that stereotype, yeah.
I know it's like actually like 60 minutes actually does some pretty good stuff. This aside, I suppose, but just oh man, that was really weird. Anyways, what has happened in this game?
Not much. Yeah, Neeb's gone for the Stargate here, and we'll see what he gets out of this. Maybe it's just the one Oracle in a bit, but it is worth noting his build style this game made me a little bit concerned that if Scarlett had played a little bit, we'll say anti-Protoss as she's done in the past, it really could have hurt Neeb early on. But this is, I don't know, it's money on the line. It's not just through friends, you know, and they are very friendly with each other. And you do have to play this very seriously. So I like that Scarlett's not being too silly with her builds, and that she is playing you know, close to the vest, so to speak.
Oh yeah, I asked Neeb, because Neeb was asking who he played. And I was like, isn't Scarlett right behind you? He's like, yeah, but I wasn't watching. So I guess confirm like they aren't like bothering to talk to each other or anything like that in between games. I found it funny, but I guess it makes a lot of sense. Like when I was actually around people in like college and stuff like that, I actually would never talk to them. I thought I was just being antisocial, I suppose. And I hated my roommate, but other than that, I thought it was me. But us kids and our computers, we're addicted.
Yeah, I hate it. I've mentioned it several times before. On that note, the whole addicted to computer thing. One of my favorite YouTubers, CGP Grey, he put out this sort of sarcastic video on like the guide, not to happiness, but to being miserable, and kind of basically showcases the things you shouldn't do if you want to be happy, right? Okay. And like 9 out of 10 things I do on a regular basis, like wake up and go straight to the phone, sleep next to the computer, never go outside. And I'm just like, shit, I'm screwed.
I love that it's like how to lose a guy in 10 days. There you go. Did you ever watch that?
No,
it's classic. Okay, well, it's a classic. You should watch it. I'm just saying, but like, she worked at a place that did like a bunch of like tabloid shit, and like one of them was like what not to do type, you know.
And she's like doing all the things.
Yeah, exactly. So how to lose a guy in 10 days is like how to be like a terrible girlfriend and not find a true love. And then of course they end up falling in love because it's a rom-com and it's super classic. I'm just saying, it's Matthew McConaughey at his finest. All right.
I like my favorite rom-com all time's got to be Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Some of those rom-coms, I feel like they got to have a different like subgenre, right? Because they're like, I don't even know what word you would use. I can't. I don't know. They're like guy rom-coms, I feel. I guess like stereotypical.
The game is actually starting to pick up, by the way, and it's worth noting Neeb has gone for a composition that may be here specifically tailored to Scarlett in terms of just going for lots and lots of adepts. One thing I don't like about this, though, is like, well, it's hitting an early timing, resonating glaives, cool beans, all of this. The War Prism comes late. The Micro's not going to be there initially, and Scarlett does have a Baneling Nest finishing up any second. And in fact, even the odd Spine Crawler looks a little bit silly, but as long as this distracts the Adepts, Neeb is going to be relying on a lot of auto attacks here, and not super crazy insane Micro.
That is true, but, you know, while this isn't... I mean, it's somewhat dedicated, but he is, of course, building probes and saturating and getting his tech behind it.
Oh!
It did almost hit a very good timing. Unfortunately, those Banelings just ruined the death count.
I really don't think he expected Banelings at all. He would not have stayed clumped on that ramp. We've seen Neeb pull off some 6 splits. That is so many Adepts for so little.
Yeah. And the problem really is that it wasn't just a good trade of like a good amount of banelings for a good amount of adepts, it was also just so instant. Like lings didn't take forever cleaning them up. They weren't in every single mineral line. So Neeb, who was trying to take advantage of, you know, both the damage they could have done and the time they could have bought, now has to be a little more concerned. Obviously, he's still starting everything that he has to, but this Warp Prism has an even bigger job of buying time if Scarlett was going to be aggressive. She's not. She doesn't really have any upgrades to go along with being aggressive, and still doesn't have a 4th base. Looks like she might be going for Swarmhost again, actually, with that Infestation Pit.
Yo, I would love to see how Neeb handles this, because Neeb is actually probably way more experienced at dealing with them. Not to say that it's going to put him in any better of a situation. He might just be more experienced dying to them, too. I don't know. It'll certainly be interesting to see. By the way, I just want to note, we've actually had quite a few resubs coming during this game. We'll get you guys caught up in a big round-out, shout-out after the game's over, because there's quite a few we got to scroll back for. But yeah, it's charge, storm, weapon upgrades. Like, Neeb's doing a lot of the right things back at home. It's just a shame that this comes off of the back end of an attack that traded poorly, I'd say.
Yeah, I did. Man, Swarmhouse, see how Neeb does. I guess she used a bit of Abyssal Reef too, right? Maybe
Sorry, say again. What?
Did she use Swarmhouse and Abyssal Reef?
Wasn't that the map?
Before? Like, I'm actually like derping real hard right now.
No, I'm thinking too. I don't think it was Abyssal Reef.
No, I don't think it. I think it was Ascension Eye or something like that. The bigger maps. But now I'm like really can't remember. Oh, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, she's showcasing it again. Pretty quick hive too, and a spire already, so no chances of oracles being built and killing a bunch of Swarmhosts. Actually, with the timing of the hive and the spire, it looks like Broodlords.
Actually, I'm just now aware how amazing storms are going to be against Swarmhosts. Locusts have like no health. They have like 40 health or something like that.
Just macroing. Options being opened up for attacks. Right now on rocks. Neeb has a strong army, and he hasn't quite seen that it's Swarmhost yet.
No, but again, he's got kind of the right moves for it. Because I mentioned this before. When you are playing against Swarmhosts, it is very similar to Hydras, right? Like you're going Ling, Bling, Muta, or it's not Muta. Hydra, it's the same composition here, except you swap out, of course, Locust for that. But my God. My God, these do so much damage.
It was a little scary because I think her escape path was going to attempt to be where Neeb's army is. Oh, Neeb did figure out where those Swarmhosts were. Well, this is bad news.
Yeah. This is not worth losing them all for one Nexus like that. Oh, gosh. That's a slaughter. But this is big. Like, a big part of why Scarlett's Swarmhosts looked so silly before is they got so out of hand. There was like 20 plus of them. He keeps that number low, and they're not so silly. But Scarlett's not sticking on just Swarmhost. She's already at Hive Tech. She's moving on to Greater Spire. There's going to be free units from the ground and the sky.
Yeah. Greater Spire can definitely be a difficult tech to make useful, and actually to get to as well, but both. But it just usually comes a little bit too late. You know, it's like the backup plan because your Hydra bust didn't work, or you know, whatever it is that you did. So to see it this quickly should actually scare Neeb quite a bit. I mean, he hasn't gone for Blink because why would he? He doesn't have a Stargate quite yet because he just lost his 4th base and isn't in that comfortable position, although he's getting there close. Well, Stargate, I mean Fleet Beacon. But now I guess he feels like with the 4th base coming back up and almost maxed out, he can get to the Stargates. But it's still going to be a bit better of a timing for the Zerg than some other games that we've seen, where there's like already Tempest and they're trying to make the Broodlords.
Well, the Zealots, of course, will take care of pretty much everything they can get their hands on. No Carapace upgrades means these Zealots just chew through the Lings like it's nothing at all. The wall of Zealots are going down, but he just traded up for so much. Resources lost, not exactly skyrocketing for either, both just basically trading minerals, but Neeb's he's fully aware of what's going on. You know, Fleet Beacon just finished up, extra Stargate's done too, Tempest will be on the way shortly. Yeah,
I think the lack of attacks actually has been maybe a telltale sign, because he hasn't gotten to the main base again since seeing the lair. So it just might be like, you know, there wasn't really a Hydra bust. There's only the Swarmhost that he did clean up, but there weren't very many made after that. And also that he was just, you know, in a good enough position to get to it. Unfortunately for Scarlett, she didn't really have a lot of bank to just like instantly get 10 Brood Lords, because that's when they're scariest, I think, and they come out like fast and a lot of them and catch them before they're ready, which she's not quite ready yet. And oh my god, I think it's the first time I see the new carrier skin.
I was gonna say, what is this slug in the production tab? Like, I don't even know what that is. It
I
actually
kind of
looks
thought it was like
a cocoon.
It looks like bad, man. It looks like a Protoss turd. All right, like.
Well, so for those who haven't seen this skin yet, the interceptors are primarily what looks different. The carrier, despite its icon here, actually doesn't look all that different and crazy. But ooh, this queen chipping away. Can she deny the warp ins? Oh, not quite.
She made like one. But the Brood Lords, while they weren't that plentiful, like that fast, they did eventually add on to each other. And this is not a bad count, and it catches Neeb before the carriers are out, which is the most important. But unfortunately, with 3 carriers already on the way, Scarlett doesn't really have a lot of protection for these. Like, this is gonna kind of be like an all-in with the Brood Lord, see what damage they can do, and then maybe go back into their army.
This is so cool.
That's a corruptor.
I didn't think about this either, but you know, while I had referenced that the Locusts kind of play the role of the Hydra, they don't here. They don't shoot up.
Yeah, this is... I think with Hydras, right, like 3 carriers is really suspicious, especially because they'd only be making their interceptors as they attacked, but... well, maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, the thing about Brood Lords is that, and Locusts, is that if the damage is done quick enough and then they die, well, hopefully you have a bank, your Zerg, and you can remax something else. More or, you know, different units.
Oh, man. Neeb's got so much to worry about. Good positioning on the Zealot. The Cannon bought a lot of the time with the Sim City. The Cloak from the Mothership, not really being all that great because there are Overseers, but he's holding 3 different fronts, and he hasn't fallen apart just yet, but, man, this is getting to that point where things are getting messy.
Very messy. I mean, yeah, not even focus firing with the Corruptors right there. A lot of distractions every which way.
I love the Interceptor skin part of this, too. It looks really cool.
Oh, yeah, I think the Interceptors look cool. But I'm not really... I don't like the portrait. It's really weird. Oh, well. That was all types of messy.
You know what?
Running into everything.
Neeb only lost 1 base through all this, though. The Brood Lords didn't actually break the siege. They killed a cannon, 2 pylons, and a gateway. Not much.
Yep.
Probe line and Nexus here died. That kind of sucked. But the Zealots held the line on the natural, and now this counter comes in with very little to no air to counter it. And this is a big problem for Scarlett. Like, she's got some Corruptors, but if there's not enough here, like even 1 or 2 Archons underneath this could beat all those Corruptors.
Yeah, there's Storms, there's Archons. Apparently she's going to get the Mothership without too much to be said about it. There we go. Finally the Storms, the Archons.
I don't know how much of a important factor she was here. Yo, those intercept, when the carrier dies, it looks so cool. Oh my god. It's like red explosions.
Oh, is that the Interceptors dying?
Yeah.
I didn't really...
Because these are the Tal'Darim. These are the Tal'Darim carriers.
The Interceptors look really cool. They look like TIE fighters. There you go. On the
kind of
production tab.
Gotta get some somehow a copyrighted clear version of a TIE fighter sound, right? But no, like the carrier itself exploded, and all the interceptors with it. It created like a bunch of the red fireworks in the sky. Is the best way to describe it. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, Scarlett manages to hold, but I'm not very convinced for her position. Neeb once again back up to 5 bases and growing his air army. She only has a certain amount of time before. Well, the air army combined with Storms is just too good, basically.
Yeah.
And unless she can actually kill the economy too, like taking a direct fight is going to be very difficult.
By the way, I guess I've seen players with these carrier skins on their streams, but everyone streams in like low quality settings, so I've never seen them look this good before.
I don't like the carrier skin itself. I really like the interceptors, though.
I like the new graphics that come with it. I think is what the selling point is for me. The carrier for me should always be the thing that, you know, Tacit are surfboarded into the Overmind with. Any additions to, like, there's no reason to actually change the carrier. Like, I feel like you get a classic carrier and your custom interceptors would look really cool, but I don't know. I'm so. I like the way they look. I don't like the way their icon looks. I
like that they are different, actually. That it's like, it feels like a different race almost. Not different part of the race.
All skins!
It's just that I think in terms of actual aesthetics or the way that it's designed, I would have liked even more spikes, to be honest. I think it looks kind of like it's too streamlined now. That's why I said it looked like a well, I don't know. Because the thing I liked with the Viking was that it actually like changed the actual shape of it so much and made it like really like a nice silhouette, where the carrier I think lost some of its silhouette. I'm using fancy terms. I'm really not equipped to to do that, but I'm trying.
Silhouette.
I took, I graduated with an art degree, but that doesn't make me equipped to use the word silhouette. That's fancy talk. Anyways, aesthetics aside, going back to the original point, I think that Neeb just has too good of an army, and his economy wasn't cut quite enough. If this is an army, but it was 150 supply, then I'm like, Scarlett's still got a chance here, but it's almost maxed out. It is maxed out. That one was pretty good, though. That was cool.
I was going to say, we're not going to get to see the slow void rays because there's going to be fungal growth the whole time.
All right, well, that's actually a better start than I've seen in a long time against an air toss. So, kudos. But does it matter? He's expanding. He's getting more Stargates. He's going to make sure that never happens again by actually having Revelation on the army.
I'm not crazy. Like, the trail on these interceptors looks a little bit different too, right?
I think so. I have to see it again.
Like, interceptors always have like that little trail behind them, but these ones feel more like Tron-y almost.
Tron-y? Like the bikes?
Yeah. You'll see what I mean.
No, I think I remember. I agree.
Professor Trelawney. Trelawney? Whatever. Harry Potter.
Yes. The Neuroparasite is always an interesting option. I've never been quite convinced, just because infestors usually get feedbacks. If there's a Revelation on the Zerg army, I think that's kind of when they're screwed. If they manage to get something hidden, like burrowed infestors with a fungal or Neuroparasite, that's when I'm like, well, this is more interesting.
He knows the strengths of what's possibly coming, and yeah, Revelation thrown in on almost all of the infestors.
Yeah. This is when it's most difficult, I think, for the Zerg to actually get something done. But a strong line of defense, as strong as one can get, really.
Feedback's coming down, too. Templar are really cool units, guys.
Yeah, totally. I mean, maybe more Spore Crawlers would have made the best defense ever. But still, I like the idea of what Scarlett's doing here. Unfortunately, without any type of counterattack or harassment, I think it's all... I mean, if it comes down to one big fight and she gets the best flipping fungal combined with a bunch of Neuroparasites, then sure. She counterattacks and maybe even wins. But if it's just constant trades, then I think Neeb still takes it.
I was going to say, Neeb's got this insane bank behind him. Scarlett doesn't. So, like, this army, I feel, gets crushed, and he remakes it, actually, with the carriers and all.
It would literally have to be a counterattack based on the production time. If he gets 5 carriers out, she's probably screwed. Well, you don't see many Neuroparasites behind Templars.
Yeah, sort of did it the one time and it worked out really nice, but beyond that, it's hard to pull off. And she didn't have detection to see the rest of the things to feedback, but she got a couple off, which was neat.
Yeah, but that still is such a brutal supply to look at. Using the rest of her very small bank to put in the Lings. Unfortunately, Neeb, with such a bank, has already put down a bunch of Sim City. So I doubt Lings are going to be that great, even if they do have +3.
Yeah, there's definitely this weird red trail that goes off when these interceptors die. It looks really cool.
Yeah, these interceptors are really nice. Well, the Lings are used to help out versus the ground army, which is not the worst idea in the world. But everything else is doing so terribly.
That's like the weirdest tap out. Like the whole army leaves, and you're like, "Well, GG."
Yeah, like still like, oh well.
Trying my best. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be game number 2. We got one more match to go here in the Losers Bracket Elimination Series. We're going to go to a small commercial break, though, before then. And we'll see you back in a moment. Prize will up to $472 thanks to the contributions of all those tuning in. Make sure we use up every single code available. I'm not sure how many house codes are left, but get on it while you can. And we'll see you guys soon. All right, folks, we're hopping into game number 3. If you're just joining us on the broadcast, again, it is the losers match in this GSL-style impromptu show match, or GSL group style, excuse me. One of these two players is about to be eliminated as things are tied up now 1-1. In the top left, we've got the Canadian Zerg, the queen herself, Scarlett.
In the bottom right, as the yellow Protoss, it is Neeb.
So at this point, it is unfortunately impossible for both our foreigners to win the group. However, I still think that it's either of them, like regardless of whether it's Scarlett or whether it's Neeb, either of them could take on Josh or Hurricane, I think, to take second place in the group. But yeah, they're going to be, I guess, really happy that we at least have the third place prize, should that not be the case. Either way, again, big thank you to all the contributors. I mean, I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. That sounded weird. For helping bring this prize pool up. Again, we were putting in like a couple $100 at most today. We've already doubled that. We've almost 2.5 times it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is. But Sonic Bowl on the way. Scarlett took a very quick gold. This is going to be a little bit questionable for Neeb, though, because I think he'll know to go scout the gold. But Scarlett has actually been doing these dumb proxy hatchery builds that the hatchery could be over here or it could be over here. So he checks over here with the probe, sees nothing, and goes straight to the gold with the other. He's smart enough to figure this out. This could have been so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it still might be really bad. We saw this not be punished because there's only so many things you can do. Even if you do try and punish it, it could not work out.
What is this resub? Sorry, go on.
Lead to a total beating on stats, I think it was, that she used it against last time.
Yeah, stats got wrecked. Stats got not just wrecked, he got like riggedy wrecked. It was bad. But yeah, sorry, that message came in. With those emotes, and I was like, okay then. Alright. What the fuck? By the way, we will, I guess, take this moment to get caught up in some shout-outs to some very awesome folks. So, of course, we left off at Wardy last time, but thank you to Pull V Stuff for the new sub with Twitch Prime. Seika _ as well, joining us on that Prime Club. Then X Mathman X for 13 months. And just now, If Only Queens Had More Range, just qualified for their Partoof coin in real life. With a very distinct message. Thank you for that. Of course, if you guys ever hit that 12-month mark or you've been here for longer than 12 months and haven't claimed it yet, send us a DM here on the channel, a private message, not a whisper, and we'll get you a form to fill out that we can then send you a Partoof with.
They're fancy. They're fun. You put them on a velvet cushion. You look
and you know
amazing.
what the best part is? You can use them at day just as well as you can use them at night.
Are you alluding to something?
No, it's just a truth fact about the product.
It is a truth fact. Thank you.
The Partoof is not any less effective during the day as it is during the night.
Yeah, if you whip it at someone's head both times, it'll do the same amount of damage.
And if you're fast enough, they won't see it coming regardless of the daylight.
And you have to like, yell at them to throw it back, please. It's rare. Oh. Don't anyone do that. They're actually.
It'll be one of those things
probably hurt.
you have it in like your breast pocket. You shot with a bullet. It catches the bullet because it's actually a thick piece of metal, right? And you're like, damn. So not only can the Partoof work day and night, it can also save your life, literally.
I like that. That's good advertising. It's truth fact advertising. Oh, okay. So when I brought up that Scarlett just beat Starts with it, no problem. She did get up to 3 bases, kind of like more saturated than this, with Hydras, I believe. So this is super early and super aggressive. And Neeb, well, I'm not exactly prepared for it. He had at least 2 pylons, but one goes down very quickly.
I think he knew very clearly that this was going to be a possibility. It is Scarlett after all, but yeah, very clearly not actually available. So Neeb is going to be eliminated from the group. Not a great debut to return to Korea for, but hey, you set the bar low, it can only go up from here.
That's the plan, isn't it? Also to make sure that I look as stupid as possible. No one watched the first video on YouTube.
Please just disregard my hype for the fans and the foreigners.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so much that Neeb and Scarlett's level as it was Joxy and her. Well, actually, Hurricane is always like the middle guy for me, but Joxy didn't look so great last time we saw him. His pressure versus Zerg was like, it was okay, so.
By the way, claps, because it looks like the coupon code HOUSE has been used up according to Blunderful Guy, so all the freebie codes have been inserted into the prize pool, which is awesome. So now, unfortunately, if we do want any more money for the players, they'll have to come out of the hard-earned pockets of the folks who are perhaps generous enough to donate. But even if you guys don't, again, we started today with like $200, blew it out of the water. It's been a fantastic ride so far. And we move into what is going to be Joxy versus Hurricane coming up next for the winners match. This will determine first place in the group. Also, Galtland with that Twitch Prime sub, Magnifico. Thank you for joining us here on the channel. Welcome to the Base Trade Brigade. And enjoy the replay packs we'll be sending out to our subscribers after the series is done, or after the show match today is done, because that is one of the awesome benefits to being subbed to the channel. But while we do quickly get videos out of the way, I do want to once again remind everybody, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, we'll be back with the Corsair Cup Season 6 off-season, which has a group stage like this. That's going to feature Inertio, Keen, Optimus, and Snoot. It's all TvZ, possibly TVT into ZVZ. I don't know. It's going to be a good day, and hopefully you guys will come out to join us for it. We're going to be casting a lot as we lead up to this coming Friday. Or excuse me, Thursday, because the 15th is when we both fly out to Toronto. Well, you leave a little bit before me, of course, from Korea, but
yeah, I leave the 14th.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
So, well, DreamHack Yon shipping's happening this weekend. The approximate schedule that they've posted, I think, is like from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific, and at 1 p.m. Pacific is when we will go live in Gameland in Toronto for that tournament over there. Also, ooh, just took some damage. Blunderful guy stabs Nexi for 225 damage. Impromptu show match. House. 2 great casters. House. Sick impromptu prize pool. House. Free $1 Metrino coupon code. House. Used up. And then what's this little toad? That's a cute little toad emote.
It is.
Anyways, this is the lowest we've got Nexi. Last time we got him this low, he did heal up. And I know he's been lurking in chat. So I don't know if he's going to do that today or not, but he's at 4,000 health. If anyone's got the ability to kill him, he's been the bit boss for like 2 weeks. We need to get rid of this guy. But I guess we're going to hit up a small commercial break as they finish up their videos, because Joxy says, "Sec toilet, please." And to show you guys, I'm not just trying to hit you up with a million ads. We do have to actually BRB. So we'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Thanks for watching.